Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to be filming another 24-hour reading challenge and I'm super excited. So today is actually Thanksgiving and I'm thinking I'm going to start the challenge tonight because I have today, tomorrow, and then obviously Saturday and Sunday off of work. So I have quite a few days to read and I think I'm going to get quite a bit of reading done because unfortunately my husband does have to work tonight and tomorrow night. So I'm hoping I can get quite a bit of reading done, but even if it exceeds over, past Sunday, that is okay. But I just love filming the 24-hour reading challenge because I feel like it just has me picking up my book so much more often and gives me a little bit of motivation, if you will. So I wanted to kind of talk about reading plans. I'm going to be doing the timer method. I don't know if I mentioned that. I'm going to be doing it with the timer method. I just love that method so much. So whenever I'm not doing things where I'm either listening to a book or reading a book, I pause my timer. That way I'm reading for fully 24 hours. And I usually get a lot of reading done. I actually don't even have an audiobook that I'm listening to yet. I really want to pick up Harry Potter and Order of the Phoenix, but because that's the next book in the Harry Potter reread. But I know that I will not be finishing it in this vlog, just because it's like I think it's like a 25-hour audiobook. So that's just, the math isn't mathing there. But I think I might just listen to that if I'm doing stuff around the house, things like that. But we shall see. Almost none of my reading plans are set in stone because I have no idea what I want to read. So what I'm reading right now is Manacled. It's a Dramione fanfic by Sen Lin Yu. And let me just say, I have been eating up Dramione fanfics. I read Breathmint's Battle Scars by Onyx and Elm. Loved it. And I am having such a fun time with this. It's just like being back in Harry Potter and I'm obsessed. So I am about 40% of the way through this. It is very long. I think it's like almost 850 pages. But I'm loving it. And I also downloaded another one, The Disappearances of Draco Malfoy by Speechwriter. So I don't know if I'll pick that one up after I finish this or if I'm going to read one of my other choices. So current read, Manacled, but my other options I may pick up is I want to read Nightbane by Alex Astor. This is the second book after Lightlark, and I did really like Lightlark. I think I gave it like 4 stars. I really enjoyed that book. I like the characters. So I definitely do want to pick this up at some point, so that might be this. I think it's a YA, so it'll be like a very quick read. Or I was thinking about picking up Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Again, I've heard a lot of really good things about it. Another YA book, so very quick, fast-paced, like little rom-com. And I just love like the old rom-com movies, like love them to death. So definitely can't hurt to read that. Another fast-paced read. Or I really, really want to pick up Arch Enemies, which is the second book in the I forget what the name of the series is called. I think it's called the Renegades Trilogy by Marissa Meyer. I really want to finish or continue this series as well. But I just may pick up another Dramione fanfic. I have also another couple books on my Kindle from Kindle Unlimited I might pick up. I do really want to read like Divine Rivals. So we'll see. Only thing set in stone is that I'm definitely reading Manacled. So don't hold me to any of these other books because we all know my reading kind of changes at the drop of a hat. So that is the check-in for now. And I will check in with you guys when I start the timer. Not starting it right this moment. We just finished Thanksgiving. We're just kind of chilling out. We're definitely going to be having our Thanksgiving sandwiches soon. At least I know I am. And I will probably start the timer either later tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. So I'll touch base with you guys when I start the timer and throughout. So I hope you guys all had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will check you in the next clip. Hello friends, so I just wanted to chat really quick. So today is the next day and I have not read anything. I didn't start my timer yet. Like I said yesterday, I honestly didn't think I was going to. I just kind of wanted to start the video, but I am going to be starting my timer today. But I did go to Target this morning. They were doing some sale that my husband wanted to get stuff at, and he just wanted to kind of check it out. So we went this morning, and of course your girl had to stop in the book section. So I was like looking around, and there's obviously a few books that I want, right? And so we're walking around, but every book had the standard like 20% off sticker that Target has. And so then I was like, oh, there's like no sale that's like on top of that. So like it's fine. Like I honestly would rather just wait. Because for Christmas a lot of people get me like books or gift cards and stuff like that. So it's like, well, I might as well just wait. Like if there's no special deals on top of the 20% off, like don't get me wrong, the 20% off is great. But if there's no special deals, then like it's fine. Like I'm good. So I literally said that to my husband, and I didn't even notice. There was like a Target employee like walking behind me, and she was like, no, she's like, it's buy two, get one free. And I was like, oh. So I literally looked at my husband, I was like, well, this changes things. So I picked up 3 books. So let's talk about them books, shall we? So the first book I picked up is Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. This is the prequel to Legends and Lattes, which I loved. I gave that book a 5-star. It was so good. And I'm so excited to read this, especially like with the upcoming, like, fall, well, not really fall, the winter season. I just love a good cozy fantasy. And I loved the first one so much. So this one you're following Viv. I think she ends up getting injured. And so she like can't go on like the mission with her team, so then she ends up having to stay back, and so she like just stays at this bookshop with these characters to like help them out and to recover from her injury. I do have the special edition of this coming from Dazzling Bookshops to match my Legends and Lattes one, but I don't know when that's coming in, and I also own the regular Legends and Lattes, so I wanted a regular one as well, just so that I had it. And plus I do want to read it, and I don't know when that one's coming in. Which is fine because special editions can take some time. So no worries on that, but definitely do want to read this. And then the next book is A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. That's what the cover looks like. So it's a little holiday romance. So, I'm assuming it's a romance. Yes. So, holiday romance. And all I've heard about this is what it says up the top. So it says Bianca Von Honey, which they call her B Hobbs, has a successful career as a plus-size adult film star. With a huge following and 2 supportive moms, she couldn't ask for more. But when her favorite producer cast her to start a Christmas movie he's making for the Squeaky Clean Hope channel, her career is able to take a more family friendly direction. So I'm very interested because it's a plus size main character, and I don't really read a lot about plus size main characters. And being a plus size girly myself, I love plus size representation. So I'm very excited to read about that. And then I like that she's an adult film star because it's super interesting. I don't think I've read like a book with a plot where the main character was an adult film star. And then I like that it's a holiday romance. That way we can go into that season. And then I just think it's gonna be really, really good. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it, genuinely. Julie Murphy has written a couple other books. It says she wrote Dumplin'. I never read the book Dumplin', but I did read the movie. Wow. Did watch the movie. Words are difficult. So I definitely want to pick this up. I think, is it dual POV? I wonder. I don't know, it has her name on the title. So it is dual POV. Oh yay, I love dual POV. So definitely picking this up soon, like probably sometime in December, I'm thinking. I have a couple of holiday books that I want to read, so I'll be picking those up in December. And I just love the cover, like it's just so cute. I love it. And then the last book that I got should be no surprise. I feel like everyone has been talking about this book, but this is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. And this book follows your 2 main characters, and the main girl, she like moves into this apartment, and when she's in the apartment, there's like a guy that lives there, but the guy is from like 7 years in the past. I don't know. It's like a romance with like magical realism. And a lot of the booktubers that I watch have talked about it and given it either like a 4 or a 5 star. And so I've been like really, really wanting to read it. So definitely going to be picking this up very soon. And so I got all 3 of these for only like $30. So I only spent like $10 a book, which isn't bad for, these are pretty, I think, relatively new releases. I know that the Bookshops and Bone Dust is a new release, but relatively new releases, only $30, not bad. I may pick up The 7-Year Slip for the 24-hour reading video. I don't know. But you guys will see, obviously. I don't really have high expectations of what I'm picking up because I am just, I don't know. I'm not really in the mood to read anything in particular, but definitely do eventually want to pick up all three of these before the end of the year. I would like to read all of these. So hopefully we can do that. But let us jump in. I am starting the reading video with Manacled by Senlin Yu, which is the Dramione fanfic, my current one that I'm reading. And let me set up my timer. All right, folks, so we are going to start this timer. So I wanted to just film a quick update. So today is the next day. So today is Saturday. And I currently have 15 hours and 5 minutes left on my timer. So I've been reading for about 9 hours between, yesterday pretty much, and a little bit this morning. So we all know I'm reading Manacled by Senlin Yu. So Manacled is essentially broken up into 3 parts. And I just got to the 3rd part today, and I am so loving this book, guys. Like, I'm not getting, 5-star feels. Like, for some reason, I'm not getting, very, as much as I'm loving the characters, and I'm loving, obviously, Draco and Hermione, and I'm, loving just being, back in, Harry Potter world. It's honestly amazing. I love reading the fanfic for just being back in the world, even if it's, a dark alternate universe, things like that. It's just a lot of fun to be back in the world with these characters and just see how differently they act and all the different things they've been through. And I just am really liking the plot line of this story. It's super interesting, and it's just so well fleshed out. Every time I think, I'm oh, that doesn't really make sense. Read a couple of chapters and it clicks, and I have so many notes in my Kindle of me being oh my god, this is why this happened in part 1, and just so good. So there's no page numbers because it's just a fanfic. At the bottom of my Kindle it just says the location or whatever, but when I started the vlog, I think I was at 40% through the book, 76% through. So we're moving through. I will likely be finishing this today. It says that I have 6 hours-ish left. That's how long it'll take me to finish. So we'll see, which means I should definitely finish this today. It's a very long book. I think I looked it up on Goodreads, and I think it was 800 or 900 pages or something, which I'm here for. I love these long books. I am never bored. I am flying through. I'm having so much fun. Dramione, I love them. They're enemies to lovers, rivals to lovers. Their whole thing, eating it up. Love being in the world, love the plot. So I will keep you guys posted. Like I said, about 9 hours I've read. So we are currently heading out to brunch with my grandfather and his wife. And so they live an hour from us. So I may listen to the audiobook. Haven't decided yet. I'm going to bring my Kindle just in case, of course. And yeah, so I guess I'll touch base with you guys later when I get back. Hopefully I won't be back too late. That way I can obviously get some reading done tonight. I would like to get down to 8 hours, so I only have to read for 8 hours tomorrow. The more I can read tonight would be the better, because tomorrow's Sunday, so I have to do just a bunch of stuff around the house to prep for obviously upcoming week at work. But either way, having a fun time. Like I said, the only thing that does suck is I feel I'm not getting I'm not having the emotions. When I read Harry Potter, even though I've read them, when certain things happen, I still cry like a baby. Every time I watch it too, cry. But like I feel like I'm not like getting those emotions, like even though like things are sad and like I'll be like upset, like this one thing happened, and like you'd think this thing happening I would be blubbering like a baby, but like I was like, oh, it's sad, like let's move on. Like, because not that I don't care, but I feel like because I know that it's not like in the real universe, you know, maybe I'm not reacting that way, but I don't know. Like, I haven't really like cried at anything yet, which is like kind of shocking because a lot of sad things have happened. So that's why I don't feel like it's like a 5-star. And I felt the same thing with like Breathman's Battle Scars. Like, I loved it. I ate up the romance. I gave that 4 stars because it was the same thing. Loved it. Loved the plot line. Honestly, fanfic writers, top tier writers. Like, genuinely. Like, I just love their plot lines, and they're so well fleshed out, and I don't get bored reading them like at all. Like, I just constantly feel like something's happening. Anyway, so even with that, like, I didn't have the visceral reactions that I tend to have when I give a book 5 stars. Like, if you watched my Iron Flame reading vlog, you would see I was like sobbing, like I was having like visceral reactions, which if it's a 5-star, visceral reactions are happening. So not bad. 4 stars, maybe 4.25, something like that is how I'm feeling. I still have, like I said, a good quarter of the book to go, so we'll see if I have any of those visceral reactions. But right now, I definitely think it seems like a 4, 4.5. Loving it so much. I just love Draco and Hermione. Like, oh my god, Draco. I love him. And the art in this book, so if you download the book from AO3, genuinely, also, if anybody wants to download fanfic, I didn't mention this before, I think her name is T. Marie Reads 95. I'll put her at here. I get a lot of my stuff from her Instagram. That's how I know how to download it to my Kindle, which ones she recommends, and because she like reads a lot of Hermione fanfic. So I would definitely recommend going to check her out. So I'll leave her at here and I'll link her down below for sure. But there's like fan art and there's like drawings within the book of these like iconic scenes, and like it is so, I love it. I love it. So good. More books should have drawings like these in them. You know what I'm saying? So maybe authors and publishers should take notes from people that write fanfic. Just saying. And the playlists too, top tier. I will show you guys the playlist I'm listening to for this because it is really, really good. So this is the playlist I'm listening to, and honestly, it's so good. Like, it fits it perfectly, and I'm just loving it. So anyways, I could keep rambling about this book, but I do have to go. So I will touch base with you guys later today at some point, and I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day, and I will chat with you guys later. Beautiful besties. So today is Sunday. I didn't get to read as much as I wanted to yesterday. Like I said, went to visit my grandfather, and then we ended up going to a Friendsgiving, and we had so much fun at both places, so no regrets there. But I just didn't get to read as much as I wanted to, but that is okay. So I think I read for like 3 hours yesterday, so not too much. I currently have 11 hours and 34 minutes left on my timer, so in total I've read for about 12 and a half hours. So I definitely will not be finishing this today. I'll probably be finishing this challenge over the next couple of days during the week, which kind of stinks, but that's okay. So as far as reading updates, I am still reading Manacled by Senlin Yu, the Dramione fan fiction, which I don't ever think I like properly explained what that book is about. So it is essentially following the Second Wizarding War. So it's as if it's like a dark alternate universe. So it's as if Voldemort had won instead of Harry in Hermione's point of view. And essentially you're following her kind of, she's getting pulled out of a jail cell after like being there for like 17 months. And they're trying to do, Voldemort and his people are trying to do what's called like the repopulation effort. And so it's essentially I think like a Handmaid's Tale type spinoff. And so Hermione is Draco's handmaid. Use her, for lack of a better term, to have an heir. And there's a bunch of people from the Resistance that are like assigned to all these different Death Eaters, but Hermione gets assigned to Draco. And so that's kind of what you're following. The book is broken into 3 separate parts, and that's kind of what it is. I mean, she doesn't have powers because she has these manacles on her, hence being called manacled. And so you're just essentially following her. Now there is some very dark themes in this book, so I would definitely recommend reading the trigger warnings before jumping into it. I didn't read any trigger warnings, but I just knew that there was like dark themes going into it. And I tend to like to go into books like not knowing anything, so I honestly didn't really know even what this was about, like, at all. The Phoenix and the Resistance is either dead or like captured and things like that. So hopefully that explains it pretty well. If you go to watch Hannah's recent reads on YouTube, she explains it I think a little bit better than I do, and she talks about the book a lot. She's reread it I think multiple times, and this is just like the first time that I'm reading it, so it may take me a reread or two to kind of be able to explain what it's about. So anyways, so currently in this I am at I think 87%, which is chapter 71, and I don't know what page that is because again there's no page numbers, but it says I have 3 hours and 20 minutes left, so I'll definitely be able to finish this today. I don't know what I'm gonna pick up after it. I have a few different options, but I think I just want like a light like romance book or rom-com or something like that, because this book is a bit intense. It's really good. I'm really loving the characters a lot. Like, I just love Draco and Hermione in this book. Like, it's so funny. Like, fan fiction is so good. Like, I think I talked about this in my last update, but it's just crazy to me that people write this, and like, it's so well thought out, so well, like, all the plot points are so well thought out, the characters are super well developed, and like, it's just so good. Like, I'm having such a fun time. Again, I don't think it's going to be a 5-star read, but we'll kind of see where the day takes me. So I will touch base with you guys probably when I finish this. I probably won't touch base before then. So I'm honestly just going to try to sit down and finish it this morning. I have my coffee. I got my breakfast. So I'm just going to sit down. It's currently 11:40. So hopefully we'll finish this in the next couple of hours, and then I will check in with you guys when I'm done. Alright guys, so I just finished Manacled a few minutes ago. I have about 9 hours left on my timer. But I did just want to update and say that I am going to give Manacled 5 stars. I genuinely did not think I was going to, but I've literally been just sitting here thinking about it. And I just can't get over how good of a book it was. There was so much, like, the author genuinely wrote such a good story, and I just feel like the character development was really good. The plot was super interesting, and there was never really any, like, plot holes or anything. It was just, like, everything was very well explained, and I loved the characters. You know, Draco and Hermione in this were just amazing. Some of the quotes that were in here were so good. I just had such, not a fun time, because it's a very, like, dark read, but it was an emotional time. And this book on, what's it called, on Goodreads, I think it says it's like 1,300 pages or something, the ebook. And I'm sure that's just like an estimate, because it's, you know, fanfic, so there's not really necessarily page numbers. But for a book being 1,300 pages, I was never bored reading this book. It felt, even though it took me a little bit to read just because I work during the week, I just obviously wasn't reading as much, but like, when I, like, sat down to read it, like, I never wanted to stop reading it. I always wanted to be, like, just in the story. Like, even now sitting here, I just want to, like, reread the book. So I just want to start reading it, and I still have 9 hours left, and I don't want to read anything else. But alas, I do have to make a decision. But overall, definitely recommend. Like I said, it is very dark, so make sure you do read trigger warnings before jumping into this. This is my second Dramione fanfic, and I also did enjoy the last one I read. I do want to read another Dramione fanfic. I have two different ones that, like, I've been kind of, well, three technically, I guess, that I've been, like, wanting to read, but I don't think I want to read them back to back. So I do think I'm going to take a break before I jump into the next one. But this was just so good. Like, I just can't get over how good the story was written for it not being, like, a traditionally published book. I just can't get over, like, how well the characters were developed and the backstory that, you know, that they go into throughout, like I said, all three separate parts of this. And there are 3 epilogues, and I honestly thought that was going to be annoying, because not that I don't like epilogues, but they can be kind of, like, boring and no one cares. But all 3 of these epilogues were, like, amazing. Like, I genuinely just loved the entire book. There was nothing I didn't like about the book. My issue that I was having in the beginning was that I wasn't, like, as much as I was loving it, like, I wasn't having, like, these visceral reactions that I normally do when I read. Like, I wasn't really, like, crying or, like, having, like, outward reactions. But that did change today. There were definitely things that happened that had me sobbing in my chair. So yeah, loved it. The playlist, I definitely, if you can listen to music while reading, I definitely recommend listening to the playlist on Spotify that Senlin Yu created for this, because it honestly just made the world that much better, and it really just was curated to perfection. So I loved that. There also is audiobook for it on Spotify, which I did listen to for some parts of it. So again, overall 5 stars, loved it. I don't know what I'm gonna pick up next, but I'm about to eat lunch and then I will touch base with you guys when I decide what book I'm going to be picking up. Hey guys, so I wanted to just do a quick check-in. So as far as my next book, I actually ended up starting Remain Nameless by Hey Jude 19. It is another Dramione fanfiction. I genuinely just couldn't think of anything else to start. I have so many books that I want to read, but I'm just in the Dramione headspace. So that is what I did. I'm on chapter 5. I'm only like 8, wow, words. I'm only like 8% in. I have about 7.5 hours left on my timer. I've been listening mostly to the audiobook on Spotify because I have had this like wicked headache literally all day. And it just like has not gone away. I've taken like medicine. But you could probably hear it, like I sound super congested. I apparently have allergies now. I've never had allergies before, but I've been like feeling just like head cold-ish, like my throat has just been like super phlegmy for like the last 2 months, and like I went to the doctor and that's what they said. So I've been taking like medicine and stuff for that. But so I've just not been feeling great, and I think like all the coughing and the sneezing like just brought on this headache. So it is, I think, like 7, a little after 7, so I don't know if I'm even gonna keep reading tonight. I might just maybe just throw something on like in the background on the TV and just like lay down for a little bit before I head up to bed. But yeah, that's the update. I don't know if I'm gonna keep reading Remaining Nameless. I really like it. It's actually really cool because it's in you get Draco's POV and you get Hermione's POV. And I was watching, I think her channel is called Lochs Library. Her name is Lachlan. I found her from Hannah's recent reads. And she had read Manacled and loved it. And then I think maybe a couple days later she had then read Remain Nameless because she was looking for something that wasn't like as dark and heavy as Manacled, but like still had all the feels. And that's kind of what I was in the mood for, honestly. And obviously I just finished Manacled, so I was like, you know what? And she rated this like 5 stars, so I figured why the heck not, like just read it, you know. I think it's another really long one. I feel like I have read a lot this month, but I haven't read a lot of books. This is my 3rd Dramione fanfic. I haven't read like a large quantity of books, but like the quality of my books this month have been really good. And I mean, all the Dramione fanfics I've read have been really long. So like Manacled, I think, is either 13 or 1600 pages. I get different things on Goodreads, and then I think Breathmints Battle Scars was like over 800 pages. And then Remain Nameless, I think, is another one that's about 1,000 pages, which works for me because out of all of them, I haven't been bored with any of them. I've really been liking like their banter. So with Remain Nameless, they're like friends to lovers, I think, is their whole shtick here. And it essentially is like 9 years after the 7th book, Deathly Hallows. So it's the canon series, and then just 9 years down the line where Draco's in therapy, like dealing with all the stuff that like the trauma that he was put through with, you know, Voldemort. And then you know, he ends up meeting Hermione at like a Muggle coffee shop, and they just start hanging out as friends. And that's kind of as far as I've gotten, but obviously I'm sure it's going to progress. And I think that Lachlan said that there isn't a lot of like, not angst, but there isn't like a lot of like fighting between the two of them, which normally I like that. Like I like a lot of like tension between the two main characters, but after reading Manacled, I think I just want something that's kind of like fluffy but with some angst, which I think is how this is like described. Hello guys, welcome to my update. So I actually started The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston this morning, and I am currently 254 pages in, chapter 32, and so I am pretty much almost done with it. I think there's like 315 pages, 326 pages, so I am very close to the end, and I'm having a very fun time. This book has elements of magical realism, which is actually super fun. So in this book, you're following our main character, Clementine, and I love that name, and the nickname that he gives her is Chef's Kiss. And so essentially you're following Clementine, and she ends up she ends up moving into her aunt's apartment. Her aunt passes away, and her aunt were very close. They used to travel together all the time, and her aunt passes away, and Clementine is willed the house, or the apartment that she lives in. And her aunt would always tell Clementine these stories about how, the apartment is magical because, there's this thing that happens that when you walk into the apartment, there's like someone else living there, and it's 7 years in the past. And the aunt explains what happened to her and how her 2 rules are: don't wear your shoes in the apartment and don't fall in love with the people that come into the apartment that you see. And so it's such an interesting plot. Like, I was genuinely intrigued by this plot, and I've always wanted to read Ashley Poston's other book, The Dead Romantics, but I wanted to start out with this one because people actually said that this one is better. So I am having a really fun time. I'm liking the dynamic between our main character, his name is Ewan, and Clementine. I think they are so adorable together. And like I said, I just love the whole plot line of her, when she goes into the apartment, and sometimes, she's 7 years in the past. And I just think that's so interesting. And then there's just so many elements, and it's so fun to go into this blind. That's all I knew about it was what I just told you. And so good. So I'm having a good time. A lot of people have been saying that it's like a 5-star best read, and I wouldn't say it's a 5-star. I would honestly, I'm leaning towards like a 3.75 to a 4-star. And I don't know what was affected because I have literally only listened to this book on audio. I have not even picked up the physical book. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I don't think so, because I love audiobooks. Sometimes they even make the book better, and the narrator of this book is really good. I just feel like there's not a lot of banter between the 2 characters. I feel like we're not getting enough of the characters together with any tension or anything like that. Literally, it was weird to me because the very first scene the second scene where they're together and they're kind of deciding that they're going to both kind of share this space, situation. Clementine goes to sleep on the couch, and he's like, no, you're not gonna sleep on the couch, and I know you're not gonna let me sleep on the couch, so we're just gonna share the bed. And I'm like, first of all, I don't know if it's just me, but I don't think I'd be wanting to share a bed with someone that I literally don't know, and they just popped up in my house. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's just obviously it's not very realistic. Obviously you're not going to just be in your house and all of a sudden you're 7 years in the past. But I just felt like it was just an odd interaction between the 2 of them. But other than that, it's been a very fun time. I like both of our main characters. I like the friend group that she has, and I like the career path that she's her journey with her career. She's dealing with a lot of stuff from losing her aunt. She's, kind of learning more about herself throughout this process as well. And it's just overall very, very good. Nothing mind-blowing, groundbreaking, anything like that, but definitely still a very fun read. And who knows, my opinion may change. The ending may completely blow me away, but who knows. So anyways, so that's where I am with that. Like I said, 254 pages. I have 2 hours, 15 minutes left on my timer, and today is Monday. And I have also, I think, when I last touched base with you guys, I think I also read 2 more chapters of Remain Nameless, the dramione fanfic. So, and I'm loving that, of course. So that's my update for now. I am definitely going to be finishing this within this video. I'm probably going to be finishing it very soon. I'm going to go eat dinner and then read this. And I think I'm actually going to finish it physically. That's the update. I will be finishing this challenge for sure today. I didn't think I was going to be able to, but luckily I'm going to be able to. And so I will touch base with you guys tonight. Hello guys, wanted to just another quick check-in. So I just finished The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston, and this book was so cute. So it definitely wasn't a 5-star. I didn't get that like those 5-star feels, but I definitely think it's like a 3.75 to a 4. I loved the ending. And this book is honestly just so much more than like a romance. Like it really dives into our main character, Clementine, just learning about herself and like figuring out what she wants and like dealing with the grief of losing her aunt. And it was just really well told, and I really liked the aspect of the 7-year, slip where, she goes into the apartment and it's like 7 years in the past, and just there were so many different connections and intertwining situations, and it was so good and so interesting to read about. I definitely want to read her other book, Dead Romantics, I think it's called. I just really like the magical realism aspect of it because it's like a contemporary romance, but not. But I also really enjoy that this was about more than just the romance. Like, don't get me wrong, the romance was really cute in this. Um, and there isn't like a whole lot of spice for people that don't like spice. It was pretty tame. Um, but I just, for being as tame as it was, like I still felt like there was definitely some good emotional connections. I feel like I felt more of the emotional connections towards towards the end of the book. Um Not so much towards the beginning. Like you're getting those beginning stages, but the end of this book, like pretty much I want to say the last like 60 pages, like pretty much from my last check-in to the end was just so good. I teared up at a few parts. It's my aunt is literally like my best friend, besides my husband. My aunt has literally been there for me through some of my most difficult times, and she truly is my best friend, and I really don't know what I would do without her. And just reading about Clementine's connection with her aunt really just made me think. And it's just I connected a lot to like their relationship. um and there were just some really good quotes at the end of this book that like really were just so good. And like they're literally quotes that I want to like get put up on my wall. Like I loved them. So definitely enjoyed it. Like I said, I think I'm like going between a 3.75 and a 4. I think I'm gonna give it a 4. So I currently have an hour and 3 minutes left on my timer. So I'm going to pick up Remain Nameless. I'm on chapter 7 of Remain Nameless, which is the Dramione fanfiction. So I think I'm going to finish out the 24-hour reading challenge with this book. Hello everyone. So I wanted to film a quick wrap up slash outro for this. So I just hit my 24-hour mark. I did hit it at like 10:25, I think, but it's currently, this would focus, it's 10:33. So I started the challenge, I think Friday. So it took me all day Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and today. So it took me 4 days to read the 24 hours. But like I said yesterday, I was just having a really bad headache and it was like a whole thing. But I love doing these videos. I get so much reading done, and like because I just sit and I dedicate so much time to reading, and I'm like much more meaningful with my time, because as soon as I like hit the timer, like I don't pick up my phone. It's like annoying for me to have to like pause a timer every like 10 minutes if I want to pick up my phone, when normally if I'm reading, I'm just like, oh, let me just put down the book for a second and grab my phone. So I do like having that intentional reminder of the timer to where I have to like physically pause it, and it also kind of shows me how much like I look at my phone when I'm reading. So I like having that like culpability of the timer. Love it. Let's talk page count, books, and ratings. So my total page count for out of the 3 books that I read is 1,270 pages, which averages out to about 52 pages an hour, which is about what I typically read, about 50 pages an hour. That's what I read on like a daily basis. So the breakdown is, so I read Manacled by Senlin Yu, which is the Dramione fan fiction. This is a dark alternate universe in which after it takes place essentially as if books 6 and 7 don't exist. So it's right after Order of the Phoenix. Voldemort ends up gaining power, and the Order of the Phoenix and like the Resistance are kind of like underground, and Voldemort is in charge. And there's this, and what ends up happening is Hermione ends up getting captured. The entire order is killed. She's the last surviving member of the Order of the Phoenix and the Resistance. And they are trying to do this repopulation effort, the Dark Lord. And so they end up, any like remaining members of the Resistance that are found, they end up making them so that they're essentially handmaids from like the Handmaid's Tale to Death Eaters. And Hermione gets assigned to the High Reeve, which is Draco Malfoy. And the story kind of goes from there. Because obviously it's a repopulation effort and Hermione doesn't really want to be there. So, yeah, it's very dark, but give it time. This story was so good. I genuinely, when I finished it, I could not stop thinking about it, and I've been thinking about it ever since. Like, the relationship between Draco and Hermione, the story that Senlin Yu wrote is just absolutely mind-blowing. Like, there's just, the plot was so intriguing and so good. This book was, according to Goodreads, there was a few different versions that had a bunch of different page numbers. I just took the one that was like 1,300 and some odd pages. So for a 1,300 page book, I literally was not bored, not in one part of it. I was captured from beginning to end. It was so good. There's 3 epilogues. The epilogues were amazing. There's like pictures throughout that were done for fan art. So good. 5 stars. Definitely, I would love to reread that. It is a long book, so it would probably take me some time, and it's something that I'd probably like read while reading other books. But so good, and would definitely recommend. Again, it's very dark, has very dark themes. I definitely recommend looking up the trigger warnings, but it is a very good story, and I'm obsessed with it. So just putting that out there. So then after I finished that, I could not get Dramione out of my head. Also, if you like Dramione, definitely check out on Instagram T Marie 28. I'm going to put her down below. And Hannah's Recent Reads, she also talks about Dramione fanfic, and Lochs Library. I will tag all of them down below. Because they all talk about Dramione fanfiction, and I'm obsessed. And so I've gotten quite a few recommendations for Dramione fanfiction from them. So I could not stop thinking about Dramione, and I was watching Lachlan's video. So she just finished Manacled and Nameless by Hey Jude 19. So I didn't read like what it was about. All I know is that it's like a fluff book, or like a fluff piece about Draco and Hermione, and it's like friends to lovers, but it's like angsty, and like it's like 9 years after the canon series, which is like the series that as it finished, with Harry winning, Voldemort losing, all that good stuff. And it follows Draco and Hermione like 9 years in the future, and they're both going to therapy, they're working on themselves, and they like meet in like a muggle coffee shop, and it's just so wholesome. But like, it's just so good. And again, I'm 150 pages in. This one's like 1,000 pages. I've not been bored. I'm just like eating it up. I'm obsessed with Dramione. It's a problem. So I started that, Remain Nameless. And then whilst I was reading that, I also ended up picking up The 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston, which I talked about this earlier today. So I won't give the description again, but I think I'm going to end up rating this a 3.75. I've been going back and forth between that and a 4. Really good. I love the characters. I really liked the ending. I like the magical realism element, and I really enjoyed the writing itself. Like, I definitely like Ashley Poston's writing, so I'm definitely going to pick up The Dead Romantics, which it should be coming in on my Kindle soon, so I'm excited to read that. And I just love the cover of this. It's so stunning. So I'm going to face it out on my bookshelf. So love that for me. And this was 326 pages. Of Manacled, I read 794, by the way, because I started at like 41%. And like I said, I just used Goodreads. They had a few different number totals, like page number totals. And I just took the one that was like, I think it was like 1,300 some odd pages. So I just did like 59% of that number, about 794 pages. 326 pages. And then Remain Nameless, I'm obviously still reading. Again, it's 1,000 pages. I'm only about 150 pages in. I'm 15% through. And I'm loving it. Loving it. So I don't know what that'll be rated, but probably highly. So that is the end of the video, you guys. Again, 1,270 pages in 24 hours. 2 really good Dramione fanfics. I had like a really good reading weekend, I guess. I'm definitely going to keep reading. Doesn't even show it on here. Joke's on me. I'm definitely going to keep reading Remain Nameless, and so definitely follow me on Goodreads and Instagram. Those are always linked down below, just so you guys can see my thoughts on those. And I'm probably going to be reading more Dramione fanfic because I literally cannot get them out of my mind. I'm obsessed with them. So yeah, you guys, I hope you all have a wonderful day. And my US peeps, I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know I did, and again, I really appreciate you guys all being here and, you know, checking out my content. Definitely check out the creators down below. As always, I will catch you in my next video.